back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors in the house. We're going to talk some real estate stats. We just got the latest numbers for Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco counties. We're going to go over those absorption rates here in Tampa Bay. And we always like to feature our real estate listings. It's part of our strategy to maximize the exposure and the profit on the sale of our sellers, our listing clients, their properties. We max it out for you and help you get that maximum exposure. 140 Glendower Circle. This is a property that we've got listed on our team. This one's in Sun City Center. It's unit number 1, 55-plus gated community in Kings Point. 2 bedrooms, 2 bath. You have an additional carport, and you also have golf cart parking. Pretty cool. Nice flooring, granite countertops, beautiful property here. Enclosed glass lanai as well. 140 Glendower Circle, unit 1 in Sun City Center. 37351 Neighbors Path, another one of our awesome listings. We're doing a price reduction on this property. Price improvement coming up. 3488 square feet, 6 bedrooms, 4.5 bath, stone counters, and a large lot. You got 1.2 acres of land here. Mother-in-law suite, granite countertops, white cabinetry, lighter color cabinetry. People love that. Tile floorings, large bathtub in the bath there. Almost 3,500 square feet, open concept floor plan, and again, 1.2 acres of land. Beautiful property there on Neighbors Path, 37351 Neighbors Path. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Somewhere sunny and 75. And giving a shout out to Lawn Anglers as well. If you're looking for a new lawn company, landscape company here in Tampa Bay, we highly recommend our friend Adam Long. Lawn Anglers, lawn maintenance, landscaping, mulching, tree trimming, and more. Lawn Anglers. Adam Long does a great job. Highly recommend him. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on those special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Patrick Furlow in the house. Welcome back, buddy.
Thanks, Brandon. It's good to be here.
Hey, my pleasure.
Good to see you.
Likewise. And so when we think about home staging, it's such a key element to maximizing. We always talk about maximizing the profit for our sellers. So if you have a property out there, condo, single family home, if it has bare floors and it just doesn't have any furniture, you're missing so much of that emotional appeal.
That's right. We always love to tell folks, if you can't see it, you can't sell it. It's much more difficult. And staging has become, over the past 5 to 10 years, just the number one competitive marketing advantage when you're listing your house for sale. It provides that aesthetic that otherwise other properties competing in the same price point, perhaps in the same neighborhood, may not have. So what is it that we can do to draw our prospective buyers to that agent, to that homeowner's property, to make that one be their first choice versus seeing others?
Right. Yeah, you got to be the best, not only on the block these days because the lack of inventory. You have to be the best property in the 2 or 3 mile radius, depending on the density of the area. So you look at that and you look at the numbers, like, for example, so Hillsborough County, the latest stats just came out, 1,385 residential properties available for sale at the end of December. And when we talk about residential, that's townhomes, single families, condos, even mobile homes. 1,414 sold. It's a 98% absorption rate, man.
That's an impressive absorption rate. Yes, it is.
That's a lot.
And that's Hillsborough?
That's Hillsborough County.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Now you move it over to Pinellas, it drops to 81%.
Yep.
You had 1,507 properties divided by the 1,217. That's 81%. Pasco is 93%, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see the statistical ranges there, and you wonder if Pinellas might be a little bit lower on the absorption rate because there might be more flood zones out that way, or the taxes might be higher in certain areas closer to the water. So there's a lot of different things to consider.
That's probably it.
Yeah, and when you're going to sell your home, we know more often than not when we're talking to our clients and we're talking to our agents that someone's home is their biggest asset, likely in their entire life.
Right.
So when it comes down to brass tacks and they're getting ready to list that property, what is it that someone can provide to them that allows them a marketing strategy to get top dollar for that property and as quickly as possibly can?
Sure.
People have 2 mortgages. Sometimes you move out and you're paying on one and you're paying on another, and you're looking to trying to find ways to sell it as quickly as you can without having to go through 2, 3, 4, 5+ months of expenses and carrying costs. So we can help them do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you start adding up those costs, I call a lot of expired leads, canceled leads, and there was a lady that I spoke with, and she's telling me, all of her story, and the story is, hey, I can't look at paying this much more. I'm going to try to go for sell by owner and do it on my own, and of course, I'm using my arguments against that or counterpoints. And but yeah, I mean, the stress is real for some people when they're older, they're on a retirement, and they have the carrying costs, the taxes, the HOA, etc. And this was another vacant property, by the way. So I was explaining to her the importance of getting staging in there.
Exactly. And staging really can fit into everyone's budget. Sometimes the misconception might be it costs a lot of money or it's really expensive, and it's really not when you look at it as an investment to your property versus more of an expense.
Right.
Many staging companies in the Central Florida area offer types of financing. Some do pay at closing. There's different ways you can pay by credit card or just the old school way of ACH and check. So there are options available for folks that might be a little bit more strapped, maybe because they are on fixed income or they don't necessarily have the room on their credit cards because perhaps they maybe done a lot of conditional work to their property, preparing it for sale. Maybe had to put on a new roof or paint the property or clean it or pressure wash.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, they want the benefit of what professional staging can offer them, but sometimes they're trying to figure out a way to scrounge up to be able to make that happen. So there's different ways to do it.
Now, so you have a pay at closing option?
There's a few options that we have. We've had
Okay.
a pay at closing option for a couple of years. The company that we had partnered with for a while had just kind of changed their business model, so we're in the process of looking for another option. And
Okay.
We're probably going to have that on board soon, but we offer like a PayPal financing option at this moment that lets people defer payments over a few different months. So it's a little more feasible and flexible should that be the case. I will say, we don't have a lot of folks go through those options. They're there for them usually if they need them, but I would say a good 9 out of 10 of our clients that do staging typically pay via credit card or via ACH or check, because at the end of the day, it's really not as much as you would think it would be. It tends to break out on a nationwide average around 0.5% or 1% of a list price.
Okay.
And a lot of times when people are hiring great representation to help them sell their properties, real estate agents that are savvy, they know the market, that are worth every cent, because if I was going to sell my house, I'd for darn sure hire a real estate agent because they know what
Right.
they're doing and can guide me through this process and help me with the difficulties of any transaction should things go sideways. So we advocate for agents 100%. But a lot of times your agents are 5, 6, 7%. So when you think of investing in home staging, you're paying half of 1% to be able to help that property move. It's a very, very wise investment, and people understand it at the end.
Right. Yeah, you got to understand the pros and cons and where that's going to stack up, especially for a vacant property. We're talking with Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors, top 10 in the country as well award. Talk about that award that you got last year. That was pretty cool.
Sure, it was. It was a surprise, and it was very humbling to be able to receive that. We've been a member of the Real Estate Staging Association since 2018. It's one of the nation's largest non-for-profit home staging and redesign associations. So most stagers in the country are either a member of the Real Estate Staging Association or something similar. And this is just one where you submit, a variety of works over the last year, and staging companies and members of the Real Estate Staging Association kind of vote for those companies for their best style, the best scalability, the best dynamic, sales rates, closure rates, all that stuff matters. So we just submitted a handful of entries and just kind of threw our hand out there in the basket with hundreds of others and ended up getting 2 of the top 10 choices for a top 10 vacant home staging company in the country last year. So it was very, very nice to see. It was, it's a great feather in the cap, but at the end of the day, awards are great. It doesn't necessarily matter a ton to Annie and I. What matters to us is customer experiences,
Right.
getting people out from under their property with a faster sale and for maximum profit. And at the end of the day, that's what we and other stagers in this area can help you do. It's very, very advantageous to do it.
Yeah, we highly recommend it, and it's it's definitely a plus. And when you look at the way the market is and has been with interest rates are a key determinant on, of course, the affordability, and it's gone up significantly over the last few months. It's come back down a little bit, and I think the Federal Reserve is hopefully going to be doing the right things, especially since it's an election year. Air quotes around that, right? But you have these different tendencies that you see, so I think the rates will be coming back down. Hopefully, the affordability factor will be there. And the key is, if you're so let's look at all the different angles here, right? So if you're on the buy side, you want to make sure you get with an agent that's going to be able to negotiate the best deal for you. In any industry, there's good, better, and best. Let's just face it, that's the facts of the matter. You have the 80-20 rule, 20% of the agents doing 80% of the business. That's in full effect, and that's true for any, not only industry or business, but any kind of way that you accumulate data if you look at that 80-20 rule. But the point there is that when you look at Keller Williams agents and people, especially on our team, that are trained, we have the best education, training, and support. So you want to get your offer accepted. Now, on the list side, selling side, when you're the seller, it's very important as well. So the key there, the key element when it comes to the sell side is exposure, right? And that's what we're doing here with our listings on the program, sharing it out in multiple platforms, all the things we do behind the scenes. But when we talk about staging, Step by Stage Interiors is who we recommend. Patrick Furlow and his team, they do a great job. Annie, it's a husband-wife team. I mean, that's a key element too. I work with my wife as well, and when you have those husband-wife teams, those commitment, they're committed to business. They're committing to getting deals done, and it's you turn off the clock when you need to, but at the same time, if there's a client that needs something and you have a situation where you have to get a deal done, we go overboard. I'm sure you do as well.
Oh yes, all the
so
time.
that's a key element is having self-employed, working together, and making sure the clients are treated right.
That's right. We always like to say you're only as strong as the collaboration that you surround yourself with. Due diligence is so important in any, buying, decision-making process. Whether you're looking to hire the right fence company or the right real estate agent or the right pool builder or the right home stager, due diligence is so important. So what we always suggest is look at the website. Make sure, number one, there is one, and it's well done. Look at their social media, real client testimonials. Ask your fellow friends or real estate agents in the industry, if you're considering home staging, who would you recommend or what would you suggest? Or vice versa for any other, company that people are out there shopping around for. So that's what we like to suggest. We're very much collaborative. Like you said, we are husband and wife team. Every single client to us matters significantly. We treat everybody with respect, like we would like to be treated, with admiration. And as a boutique staging company that can handle the volume, you get that kind of like one-on-one attentive personalization and constant communication, which is important to us.
I want to talk about the top tips to consider when hiring a staging company. I want to do that on the flip side of this break. Before we go to break, I want to tell you real quick about K-Score. We have a program through Keller Williams called K-Score, which is really awesome. I know a lot of people right now are struggling with this Biden economy, inflation. It seems like everything costs more than it did. Of course, it's true. We have a program through Keller Williams called K-Score, and what it is, it's a free online class. You can get licensed for your real estate licensing for free. You do the coursework. We actually have in-class options as well at our office there in Clearwater, but the majority of it's done online. It's all online. You can do it at the comfort of your home, and this works great for bartenders, hairstylists, personal trainers, anybody that has a gig, a job, and they're saying, hey, I'd like to, maybe do better in life or maybe improve and create a little bit of extra income. That's a great opportunity for you. We've got some great success stories of hairstylists that are referring 15, 20 deals a year, making an additional $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year in income just by becoming what we call a referral agent. So you'd be simply referring that business in at that point once you get licensed. Now you got to get your fingerprints done. You pass the state exam, but the program's called K-Score, and it's powered by Kaplan, one of the best names online online education. So Keller Williams K-Score is the program. Please share that with your friends or family out there. Anybody that's looking to potentially get licensed, we'll help you do it. And then the goal is hopefully you refer the business back to us, and we will help you get those buyers, sellers, investors under contract, close the deal, pay you a 25% referral fee on that business. So that's how the program is called K-Score. Reach out to the show hotline if you'd like more information about that, or directly in touch with Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors. Just reach out at 727-263-3707. You can call or text the hotline 727-263-3707. Call or text, and also consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors at consumerqb.com. All right, coming up, more with Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors, and we're going to talk about the top tips to find the right staging company, the right questions to ask, the right due diligence to do. Coming up here, Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you've been listening to the phenomenal Brandon Rhymes, the Consumer Quarterback Show.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider who shares your values. They offer the very best nationwide coverage on 4G and 5G LTE networks and exceptional 100% U.S.-based customer support. Patriot Mobile offers discounts for veterans and first responders, NRA members, and families with multiple lines. Learn more at patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. That's patriotmobile.com/consumer QB. Or if you'd like to give us a call, you can reach out at 727-263-3707. That's 727-263-3707. And we'd be happy to tell you more about Patriot Mobile. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. You can reach me at 727-263-3707. Call or text 727-263-3707. Online at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. In studio with Patrick Furlow. He's the owner of Step by Stage Interiors. We're going to talk with him about the top tips when finding the right staging company, the right questions to ask, and due diligence to look at doing. We got a hot listing here at Rustling Wind Road in Brooksville. 4.5 acres for sale. Brand new land listing from the Platinum MVP team. By the way, we got about a dozen or so vacant land listings. We've got commercial listings and residential properties as well. About 60 total listings from the Platinum MVP team. Rustling Wind Road in Brooksville. This is 4.5 acres of land, no HOA. Located very close to a lot of modern amenities. Short drive to a variety of dining options. Looks like it's flat, clear, ready to go, ready to be built on. Build your dream home there. Close to the Suncoast Parkway and other main roads. 0 Rustling Wind Road in Brooksville. 4.5 acres of land. Great opportunity to buy real estate here in Tampa Bay. 100 Bluffview Drive. We got a condo building with great amenities, and we've got multiple units here. 409C is a one-bedroom option. We also have 606C, which is a two-bedroom option. But we've got 2 properties for sale right here in the same building. 100 Bluffview Drive, unit number 409C. One-bedroom, two-bath, 1,050 square feet. Now, the amenities are awesome. You've got your own you got a heated pool, shuffleboard, barbecue grill, picnic tables. Great opportunity. We got 2 for you there to check out over at Bluffview Drive, Bel Air. You can see all of our listings, PlatinumCoastalElite.com. Check out PlatinumCoastalElite.com.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make
All right,
it
Patrick
down
Furlow,
the
top
road.
tips when finding the right staging company. What questions to ask?
It all starts with credibility. You want to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable, credible home staging company. There are many, many different types of home staging companies to choose from. There's, big box, large volume ones. There's mid-sized boutiques, kind of like us. You've got some smaller ones, and you've got some of your newest folks that are out there just, looking for something to do on the side. Hobbyists, amateurs that may have an eye for design, but just don't necessarily have it all together yet. So there's definitely things to look at. It depends on what you're looking for as a consumer. Are you just looking to make a decision solely on price, and that's all you care about? Are you looking for results, expertise, experience, quality, customer experience? All that stuff matters. So there's things to look for when you're looking for a reputable home staging company. So credibility for sure. I would just say making sure that their presence online is quality. They have a good website. They have a lot of their own work on that website. It's not stock photos.
Yeah.
So you can understand what you're going to get from whoever you collaborate with.
Yeah.
Looking at reviews, client testimonials, getting feedback from other agents in the area. Like I said before, doing due diligence makes a huge deal. At the end of the day, trusting who you want to work with the most. If you have that communication, you set up a consultation. Whoever you meet with, you feel like in your gut feels like it's the best fit for you, that you trust them the most. They gave you a great presentation. They seem like they have their stuff together. So at the end of the day, just go with your gut. But look for those things. Look for someone who's insured. Look for someone who charges sales tax in the state of Florida on their services. Look for somebody who has maybe W-2 employees versus, outsourced 1099 contractors. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of times the training involved in that, the policies and the procedure following is a lot more tight, a lot more close to the chest with the company versus like kind of doing it on their own.
Yep.
So there's things to consider, things to look for when you're hiring for somebody.
More control in that sense too.
Exactly.
Now, a lot of times people will buy the furniture as well. You've had some funny stories here, like doing the final walk there. They're like, hey, we want to buy this furniture too. Can we do that? Yeah.
Yep, we sure can. We do that more than you think. I would say probably one in every 2 or 3 houses has some kind of inquiry into buying something, whether it's the entire house furnished because they want to basically turn it into an Airbnb and they just want it, or they just fall in love with the room group, or if a handful of pieces. There's always like some kind of interest in those furnishings. Our furnishings that we use are all like very quality pieces. It's all designer line stuff. It's nothing you'd find from a thrift store or on the side of the road, which I still see out there these days, which, hopefully one day that just will be a trend of the past and the elevation of the home staging industry will continue to rise. But our stuff is stuff that is very quality, and people, they love the look. It's put together for them. Like you don't have to pay an interior designer to hire them to come in and do it. It's done.
Yeah.
So they save a lot of money that way. So it's very advantageous for someone that falls in love with it. It works for them and their family if they want to make an offer for it. We certainly sell it.
That's cool. Yeah, I like it. That's a win-win right there. We're talking with Patrick Furlow, Step by Stage Interiors. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, a top real estate company here in Tampa Bay. All right, we got a little positivity injection for you here. We always like to tell you something positive. Sometimes we do the feel-good stories of the day, but what we have here is what Tony Robbins calls the 5-to-1 ratio. Got a quick clip for you.
They notice the pattern of language. And one of the things they've learned is not only there are certain words that push people over the edge, as well as certain things, rolling your eyes, things of that nature as well that add to it. But they also discovered that if you have in your words, with your vocabulary, with your communication to your partner, if you don't at least have a 5-to-1 ratio of positive and negative words, emotions, experiences, you will not be able to sustain the relationship. Now, if you think about us, as a family, how often in a day do I say, I love you, or I'm so lucky to have you? We all do it with each other constantly.
So he's talking about positivity and the power of that, especially in business. When you look at business and, in sales, and whether you're working with, an outside client that you're looking to try to close the deal on, or an internal client, that would be your employees, right? There's something called the 7-38-55% rule, and it's kind of an old one, but it's a good one. It just kind of made me think of it. But, 7%. So let's start with 55. Let's start with 7%. So the 7% is the words, the actual words that you say, what you're portraying to the other person. It only accounts for 7% of the communication. It's kind of weird, right? It's the main thing that I'm saying, but it's the way that I present it. The body language, you mentioned rolling your eyes. Tonality, 38%. The way that you say it, the tone, the expression, whether you're ending with an upward or a downward inflection, that means a lot when you're negotiating price, by the way. Body language is the number one overall. 55% body language, the way that you're presenting yourself, the way that you're using your body to express those emotions and words. So it's kind of interesting when you think about the language, the power of language and the power of our words, Patrick.
It is. It's incredibly powerful. Soft skills these days are very difficult to learn. You gain them through experience, you gain them through knowledge, and a lot of people sometimes don't even know what soft skills mean. So soft skills, when you talk about, it's the language and the words, like the words of affirmation. Like I read the 5 Love Languages book before I got married, just to make sure I can understand what Annie's love languages were, and I know hers is quality time and words of affirmation.
There you go.
Those are her things, whereas mine is a little bit different. Mine's more of like acts of service, like through showing, which matters to me, but the nonverbal communications when you're talking to somebody, body language makes a huge difference, how you say it. I'm guilty of sin with this all the time, where Annie will talk to me and I'll be kind of like Tony out or not paying attention. So focusing on when someone's talking to you, paying attention, just putting your phone down or looking away from the computer, that makes a huge difference. And when you just give a little bit back and you show that you're invested in the conversation, it goes a long, long way. And I definitely need to get better at doing that as just a man and a husband and a person. But I completely understand where Tony's coming from on that clip and what you just said with the percentages. As we all do. We all need to get better. I mean, there's always something you can do to improve, and I think that's especially with key elements. Sometimes we don't have enough positivity, or maybe we're rushing a little bit too much, trying to get the maximum amount done in the day. But there's always room for improvement. Patrick Furlow, always a pleasure having you in. Step by Stage Interiors. How do you want people to connect? They can find us on the internet at stepbystageinteriors.com. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Step by Stage. Stage, and you can always give us a call. My cell phone number, if you ever need a text to reach me, is 321-960-0693.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, Patrick Furlow, thank you for coming in. We had Mark Hay on earlier as well, 21st Century Financial Group, another great show. I want to thank our producers, the whole team. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon